Pooh Shiesty's surprise album has rappers reacting all over social media. But it's not just because he's behind bars awaiting trial. The way this album was released and Gucci Mane's connection to it has made the entire situation even messier. Let me break it down. Let's start with what actually happened this week, because it moved fast. On a Wednesday, Pooh Shiesty announced a surprise new album titled All Eyes on Shiest, set to release this Friday, August 7. Alongside that announcement, he debuted a new single called Last Man Breathin', marking his first musical release since his arrest earlier this year. No warning, no rollout weeks in advance, just a pre-save link and a track list, dropped straight from a jail cell. Here's the part that makes this different from any other album announcement in rap right now. The track arrives amid Pooh Shiesty's ongoing legal situation, and he was taken into custody in April following accusations involving the alleged robbery and kidnapping of rapper Gucci Mane and others at a Dallas recording studio in January, and he's not out on bond waiting for trial like some of his co-defendants. Pooh Shiesty remains held without bond, with a trial scheduled for next February. So when the album art hit social media, people noticed the details immediately. Pooh's social media posts included a pre-save link that revealed the album's title and cover art, depicting him sitting on a couch next to a snake and a pile of cash, while a riot pops off behind him. The album title appears to be written in blood, and a person in the artwork is wearing a hoodie that says Free Shiesty. That's not subtle. That's a man locked up telling his fans exactly what side of the story he wants told before a jury ever hears it. Now here's where the reactions start. When word got out that a new single had leaked lyrics referencing his current situation, fans started dissecting every bar. On Last Man Breathin', Shiesty raps about the walls closing in and his release date creeping closer. Tying it directly to a co-defendant's sentence, he raps, "I feel the walls getting closer, my release date's slowly coming. They gave the homie 75, he'll get out when we turn a 100. People online immediately connected that line to the case. He's rapping about prison time on a song promoting an album, while he's actually sitting in a cell right now. That's the moment this stopped being a normal single rollout and became something the entire rap internet was reacting to. Now let's talk about who's actually reacting, because this isn't just fans in the comments. This is other rappers. Start with Boosie Badazz, who's been vocal about this entire situation for months, going all the way back to when the Gucci Mane conflict first became public. When a diss track dropped earlier this year targeting Shiesty over the alleged robbery, Boosie didn't hold back his frustration. Boosie left a comment under a social media post, promoting that song with a simple SMH. When a fan later asked him directly what he thought about the whole situation, Boosie responded, "I think y'all know what I think." That's Boosie's way of saying plenty without saying much. And with rumors swirling that statements were given to police, it doesn't appear that Boosie is siding with the label side of this story. Then there's OJ Da Usman, who has history with the label at the center of all this. OJ Da Usman was one of the original artists on Gucci Mane's 1017 Brick Squad label. So of course he had thoughts on the ongoing saga between Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty. Someone who was there at the label's foundation weighing in gives this a different weight than a random online reaction. And it's not just rappers with history in the streets weighing in. Commentary shows built entirely around reacting to hip-hop news jumped on this. The moment the album news hit, alongside older reaction content that had already been circulating around the Gucci Mane situation for months, showing just how much attention every move Shiesty makes is drawing right now. So that's the setup. An album dropped from jail, timed right in the middle of a case that split the rap community down the middle, on whether Shiesty is a victim of a system trying to keep him locked up, or someone who brought this entirely on himself. And the reactions are only getting started, because once you dig into why Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty are even at odds, the story gets a lot bigger. To understand why every rapper with a platform has an opinion on this album, you need to go back to January, when everything actually happened. The Department of Justice announced they had arrested Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, and 6 accomplices for allegedly kidnapping and robbing Gucci Mane, and 2 associates in Dallas. Among those charged was someone very close to Shiesty. One of the co-conspirators named was Shiesty's father, Lontrell Williams Sr. Now here's the part that turned this from a street rumor into a federal case. According to prosecutors, this wasn't a robbery for jewelry or cash. The DOJ says Shiesty held the 1017 CEO at gunpoint with an AK-style pistol and forced Gucci to sign paperwork, releasing Shiesty from his record contract with the label. Think about that for a second. This wasn't random violence. Prosecutors allege it was a business dispute that escalated into an armed takeover of a meeting, all so Shiesty could get out of his contract with the man who signed him in the first place. The DOJ's language on this was blunt. Court filings allege Williams and his co-defendants executed an armed takeover to force one of the victims to sign a release from the label contract. Shiesty pleaded not guilty. His trial date got pushed to next year. Once the arrests went public, Gucci Mane didn't stay quiet for long. He answered with music, dropping a diss track called Crash Dummy over production from Zaytoven. On it, he addresses the alleged robbery directly, rapping that he didn't take it personal, because to him it was strictly business, before turning around and warning that playing games leads to losing. He raps, "You play stupid games, then you win stupid prizes." Gucci went further than just talking about the robbery in the abstract. He described the moment itself on record, painting the picture of walking into what he thought was a normal meeting and feeling the room shift the second he got there. He raps, "I thought it was a business meeting, but it was a setup. I walk in the room. You can feel the pressure building. Nad dapped me up the whole time they plotting against me." He also went after Big 30 directly on the same track, calling him out by name in the lyrics. And he made a pointed comparison to hip-hop history, bringing up the Suge Knight and Dr. Dre dynamic from the 90s, but drawing a hard line, that he wasn't going to end up like Eazy-E. He raps, "A nay set up the play like Suge Knight did with Dre, but I ain't Eazy-E nah, and this ain't back in the day." And Gucci made sure to remind everyone whose label this actually is, delivering a line aimed squarely at ownership and control, comparing the moment to how Birdman handled his own artists. He raps, "This 1017, the label, I built this shit from the ground, and I'll be damned if I let a NA take my shit down." That's when the reactions really started pouring in from across the rap world. And this is where the title of this video comes fully into focus, because it wasn't just fans picking sides, it was rappers. Boosie's SMH comment wasn't him reacting to the robbery allegations. It was him reacting to Gucci putting the situation on wax at all. In his eyes, there's an unwritten rule in the streets about handling business privately, and going to the police, then making a song about it, broke that rule. According to reporting on his stream comments, Boosie feels that Gucci Mane is openly informing on Pooh Shiesty, which he considers one of the cardinal rules of street culture. He didn't just leave it at a one-word comment either on a stream. He broke down exactly why the song bothered him, comparing it to another controversial moment in hip-hop that year, and calling both situations weak in their own way. He said, "It would have been the weakest shot ever if it wasn't for J. Cole apologizing. But this is weak too. Getting robbed by your artist, making a police report, then dissing the N for robbing you. This is crazy." That's a heavyweight in the culture, on record saying the reporting to police part bothered him more than the alleged robbery itself. That's the kind of reaction that shapes how an entire fan base views a case before it even reaches trial. Other outlets covering the fallout noted that the response to Crash Dummy split people right down the middle, some respecting Gucci for telling his side of the story, others seeing it as a breach of the code Boosie was talking about. The song's implications split the culture between those who respect Gucci's account and those who see a breach of code. And that tension didn't die down after the song dropped. It just kept building every time Shiesty's name came up again. So by the time this new album got announced, there was already a full storm of opinions circulating. And that's exactly the environment Shiesty dropped all eyes on Shiest into. Now let's talk about who's actually on this album, because the guest list tells its own story about who in the industry is still willing to stand next to Pooh Shiesty, despite everything happening around him. Pooh Shiesty's upcoming album is set to feature hit songs like FDO, as well as collaborations with Glorilla, K Carbon, Big 30, Sexy Red, and the late Tay Keith. That's a stacked list for someone dropping an album from behind bars. Let's start with Glorilla, because her presence on this project isn't random. Glorilla returns after appearing on Maine, and the collaboration immediately stood out because it paired two of Memphis's biggest rap stars on one record. Fans had wanted this pairing for years, and when it finally happened, it landed as one of the most anticipated releases of Shiesty's comeback. The chemistry between the two artists felt natural from the start, with both rappers proudly representing Memphis and their styles complementing each other throughout the song. That matters here because Glorilla choosing to stay connected to this project, even with everything going on legally, sends a message. She's not distancing herself. She's showing up on the track list, bonus cut and all. Then there's Sexy Red, whose profile has exploded over the past few years. Sexy Red's energetic personality and chart success have made her one of rap's biggest stars over the past few years, and her appearing on this album on a track called Booty Club alongside production from Tay Keith gives the project a commercial hook that stretches beyond Memphis and beyond the streets that usually make up Shiesty's core audience. Big 30's involvement carries a different kind of weight entirely. Because he's not just a feature, he's a co-defendant in the exact same federal case. Authorities charged Pooh Shiesty, his father, and 6 others, including Big 30, for their alleged involvement in the Dallas incident. And despite that, Big 30's inclusion is especially meaningful considering the history between the two rappers. They have collaborated numerous times throughout their careers and helped establish Memphis as one of rap's most exciting cities. 2 men facing charges together in the same case, appearing together on a song called Still on Timing, released while one of them sits in jail without bond and the other remains out awaiting trial. That's not a coincidence in the track list, that's the story of the album itself. Playing out in real time, beyond the bigger names, Shiesty made room for the next generation of his city's sound too. K-Carbon and Baby Slime continue representing the next generation of Memphis hip-hop, both appearing on a posse cut called CMO Freestyle, alongside Big 30. It's a full Memphis roll call, packed into one project, at the exact moment that city's rap scene is under a microscope because of this case. The track list itself runs deep. The album includes a total of 16 tracks, with cuts like I'm Back, Federal Reality, and Reap What You Sow, sitting alongside the featured collaborations. Even the song titles read like commentary on his own situation before you hear a single bar. And then there's the late Tay Keith, whose production work appears on the album as well, adding another layer to a project that's clearly leaning on relationships built over years in the Memphis scene, not just quick industry placements. So when you step back and look at the guest list as a whole, what you're seeing is an entire pocket of the rap industry, from established hitmakers to hometown up-and-comers to a literal co-defendant, choosing to put their name next to Shiesty's during the most legally precarious moment of his career. That alone is a reaction. Silence would have said one thing. This track list says something else entirely. But the loudest reactions weren't coming from the people who appeared on the album. They were coming from the people reacting to the fact that it exists at all. To really get why this moment is landing the way it is, you have to rewind to Shiesty's actual comeback, the one that started before any of the Gucci Mane allegations ever surfaced. Pooh Shiesty released FDO, First Day Out, as his first single, since being released from prison in early October, and it wasn't a quiet return. The track quickly gained attention across social media and streaming platforms, turning into a real cultural moment rather than just another song drop. The single eventually sold more than 1 million units in the United States, earning platinum certification, while also peaking at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, his highest charting solo song ever, and the certification came fast. The track was officially certified platinum by the RAAA short 7 months after its release. That success mattered because it proved something. Years locked up hadn't cost him his audience. The success of FDO proved that Shiesty's fan base had remained loyal throughout his years away. Fans loved the record for the same reasons they loved him before he went in. Fans embraced the track for its aggressive delivery, authentic storytelling, and unmistakable Memphis sound. Shiesty himself talked about how big the response felt in an interview with Ebro Darden, saying he'd expected big things, but that the reaction to the song had gone beyond anything he predicted. He said, "I expected the most. You know what I'm saying? I expected it to go crazy. I expected the whole 9, but that motherfucker doing some outrageous shit." He also opened up about how personal the record was to make, describing writing it while he was still locked up, and not being able to fully capture what coming home actually felt like until he got there. He explained, "I really was getting it together as I was in there doing my time, but I couldn't finish it, because I'm getting new experiences and I'm going through new things. So, like, I wrapped it up first day in the studio, with everything, the whole coming home experience." That's the version of Pooh Shiesty the industry was reacting to back in December. A guy who'd done his time, come home, and delivered one of the biggest comeback records of the year. Fans praised him for staying true to his sound and picking up right where he left off, and even longtime listeners noted the record felt like a continuation of his earlier work, rather than a forced reinvention. Off the back of that, he kept the momentum rolling. he linked with Glorilla from Maine. He teased a bigger project, and by all accounts, the plan was building toward a proper studio return, with fans watching closely for additional singles, collaborations, and announcements. Heading into the year, then April happened, and the entire trajectory flipped. Instead of dropping an album as a free man riding the wave of FDO, Shiesty is dropping it as a defendant from a cell, remaining held without bond, with a trial scheduled for next February. That's the whiplash driving so much of the reaction right now. 6 months ago, the story was redemption. A rapper who did federal time came home and proved he could still move the culture. Now the story is uncertainty. The same rapper, locked up again on far more serious charges, still finding a way to get music out. And that contrast is exactly why people in the industry can't stay quiet about it. It's not just an album review conversation. It's a conversation about whether someone can keep building a career from inside a jail cell, using a comeback story that was supposed to be about freedom to now soundtrack, a fight to stay out of prison for good, the features stacked around him, the platinum plaque from FDO, the momentum from Maine. All of it is now wrapped around a project people can't separate from the headline dominating his name. Every stream, every reaction video, every rapper weighing in is doing so with that split screen in mind. The artist who made it home and the artist now fighting to make it home again. So where does this actually leave things with the album out and the reactions still rolling in? The trial is the piece that changes everything, and it's still months away. Pooh Shiesty is currently in jail as he awaits trial for allegedly robbing and kidnapping Gucci Mane. And unlike some of his co-defendants, he hasn't been able to get out. Shiesty's father and fellow artist Big 30 are currently out on bond, though there are various travel restrictions surrounding their conditional release. Shiesty tried the same route. He has attempted to secure bond in his case, but prosecutors believe he is simply too much of a risk. So he must stay in jail until his trial, and then a jury will decide whether or not he will go to prison for an extended period. That's the reality sitting underneath every song on this album. 16 tracks, big features, a full rollout, and the person at the center of it doesn't know if he'll be free. By the time the case wraps, fans covering the release have already started speculating about what's actually on the record, especially whether Shiesty addresses Gucci Mane directly anywhere on the track list. Fans are curious to hear if there are any bars on the album directed at Gucci Mane or his overall situation, though there's a good chance most of these songs were actually recorded before the arrest even happened, meaning the album might not touch the case at all, which would be its own kind of statement. Despite everything hanging over this release, the label backing it hasn't blinked. Gucci Mane's own label is still committed to dropping their signees' music, which is one of the stranger threads in this whole story. The man allegedly held at gunpoint during the incident is still, through his label, putting out the music of the man accused of doing it. And the reactions haven't stopped at Boozy and OJ de Usman. Commentary shows dedicated entirely to hip-hop news cycles keep circling back to this case. Every time there's a new development, whether it's a diss track, an arrest update, or now an album drop from behind bars, the volume of reaction content around this one situation, stretching from the initial arrests, through the diss track fallout and now into the album release, shows just how much of the rap world has an opinion on how this plays out. What's clear is that nobody in this story gets to walk away clean, regardless of what a jury eventually decides. Gucci Mane already made his stance permanent on wax, calling the whole ordeal business, while still throwing sharp personal shots at the people he says set him up. Boosie already put his disapproval on record too, making clear he sees a code being broken, no matter which side of the courtroom ends up right. Big 30 is out on bond, still working, still appearing on tracks with the person he's charged alongside, treating the music like it can move forward independent of the case. And Shiesty himself is doing the one thing he's always done in the middle of chaos: making music, dropping projects, and letting the songs carry a version of his story that a courtroom won't necessarily agree with. Whatever happens in February, when the trial date finally arrives, all eyes on Shiesty is already out there. A snake on the cover, blood red lettering across the title, a free Shiesty hoodie tucked into the chaos of the artwork, a whole album built and released while its artists can't leave a cell. The rappers reacting to it aren't just reacting to 16 songs. They're reacting to what it means for someone to keep building a career from inside a system that's actively deciding whether he gets to have one much longer.